After the edging is completed, let's learn about decorations. Decorations are divided into those on the main part and those on the triangle pieces. First, let's talk about the decorations on the main part. The decorations on the main part include snowflakes, lace trim on the edges of the garment and hat, nose, pom-poms on the hat, circular motifs, double chain braids, bows, wraps and some pre-made decorations. Make them in order. First, take the yarn. Let's learn how to make snowflakes. Start with a double magic ring. Once completed, work 2 chains to begin. This counts as an incomplete double crochet, then work a double crochet in the magic ring loop, along with the starting 2 chains. Form a special DC2 puff. This double crochet stitch is the stitch of bobble. Then work 2 chain transitions. Work a DC2 puff in the magic ring loop. First work 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over, insert, draw through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, completing 1 incomplete double crochet. Work another incomplete double crochet in the same position. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all loops at once, completing 1 DC2 puff, later referred to as bobble stitch. Then work 2 chain transitions. Work a bobble stitch in the magic ring loop. First work 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over and pull through all loops at once to complete, completing another bobble stitch. Work 2 chain transitions. Following this pattern, work 1 bobble stitch, then 2 chain transitions. Crochet the entire round according to the chart. After that, close the magic ring. Finally slip stitch into the first bobble stitch loop to join. The first round is complete. Now crochet round 2. First, work a slip stitch transition into the chain space. Then work 3 chains. Work a slip stitch into the same space, followed by 5 chains. Work a slip stitch into the chain space, then 7 chains. One slip stitch. If you run out of space, move the completed stitches to the right. Then work 5 chains. 1 slip stitch. 3 chains. 1 slip stitch. This completes one sequence. Continue with the second sequence in the left chain space. First, work a chain transition. 3 chains, 1 slip stitch, 5 chains, 1 slip stitch. Then work 7 chains, 1 slip stitch. Continue with 5 chains, 1 slip stitch, 3 chains, 1 slip stitch. This completes the second sequence. Following this demonstration, refer to the chart to complete this round. Do not join with the first stitch, using a slip stitch after completion. Leave a yarn tail for sewing. The starting tail. Tuck it in on the wrong side using a yarn needle. Smooth out the snowflake. Once completed, thread the reserved yarn tail through the needle. Sew it onto the main part. Follow the position shown in the finished product photo for sewing. My placement here is not for reference, only demonstrate the method. Pick up a few strands from the surface of the fabric piece and sew them to a few strands on the back side of the snowflake. Fasten and weave in ends once completed. This is how the snowflake is sewn on. Follow this method to sew the remaining snowflakes in the required quantity. That concludes the crochet technique for the snowflakes. Next, let's move on to the lace trim on the garment edges. Since the yarn here is special, please watch my demonstration first. Continue crocheting. To make it clearer, I'll demonstrate using cotton yarn here. Take the yarn. First, make a slip knot. Insert the hook into the knotted loop. Adjust the loop size. Take out the stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a safety pin or paperclip instead. Pick up the strand in front of the hook to mark it. Chain 1. Mark the position as the first stitch. Continue marking in this way. After marking, crochet chain stitches. Now 2 chain stitches are completed. Crochet the corresponding number of chains according to the chart. Each chain stitch needs to be marked. Once the starting chain is done, move on to the first row, chain 2 as beginning chain. Then work 1/2 double crochet into the stitch marker on the left side. Yarn over the hook once. Insert the hook into the marked stitch on the left side. Pull through and yarn over. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops at once. A half double crochet is now complete. Remove the first stitch marker. Continue working 1/2 double crochet into the marked stitch on the left side. Yarn over the hook once. Insert the hook, pull through and yarn over. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops on the hook at once. Another half double crochet is now complete. Next, pick up the marked stitch on the left side. Work 1/2 double crochet per stitch. Remove stitch markers as you crochet. When completed, leave an ending tail for sewing. Weave in the starting tail into the fabric. Thread the reserved yarn tail through the yarn needle. Sew onto the main part. Refer to the finished product image for positioning. My placement is random because the yarn has long feathers. It's hard to see clearly. So just sew in any position. As long as it's securely sewn, and won't come off. The visible stitches of the seam, try not to leave it on the wrong side of the main part. Pick up a few threads on the surface of the main part to sew. Fasten off and weave in the ends after completing. That's all for the lace trim on the garment. The lace trim on the hat uses the same crocheting method. Follow the pattern chart to complete crocheting and sewing. That's all for the lace trim. After finishing the lace trim on the garment and hat edges. Next, let's learn how to make the nose. Start with a double magic ring. After completing the cast-on, crochet the first round. Make 1 beginning chain, then work 7 single crochets into the magic ring. Once round 1 is complete, check the stitch count. Then tighten the center of the piece. Insert the hook into the first single crochet stitch, and join with a slip stitch. This completes round 1. Next, crochet round 2. Make 1 beginning chain. Make a single crochet increase into the insertion point of the previous round slip stitch. A single crochet increase means working 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1 stitch, 2 stitches. This completes the single crochet increase. Make a single crochet increase into the left stitch. Then make single crochet increases into each stitch. Work all the way around the round. Finish by joining with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. The second round is complete. Now let's work on the third round. Make 1 beginning chain. Work a single crochet into the insertion point of the previous round slip stitch. Make a single crochet increase into the left stitch. One sequence is complete. Work a single crochet into the left stitch. Make a single crochet increase into the next stitch. This completes the second sequence. Continue following this demonstrated sequence. Refer to the chart to complete this round. After completing the last stitch, do not join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Leave a long yarn tail for finishing and sewing. Thread the reserved yarn through a yarn needle. Pick up the first single crochet stitch from front to back. Then pass back through the back loop of the last stitch. Gently tighten. This completes the finishing. Now proceed with sewing. Here's a demonstration using a swatch. Thread the reserved yarn through a yarn needle. Match the position with the finished product image for sewing. My position is random here. Pick up a few strands on the fabric surface. And a few strands on the wrong side of the nose. Or sew into the stitches of the last round. Once completed, tie off and weave in the ends. That concludes the making method for the nose. Next, let's make the pom-pom on the hat. Take the yarn. First, make a slip knot. Insert the hook into the loop. Adjust the loop size. Pick up one strand and place a marker to mark it. Next, work one chain as beginning chain. Once the beginning chain is completed, move on to the first round. Make one beginning chain. Insert the hook into the second chain from the hook. Work 6 single crochets at the marker position. Before crocheting, mark first. Mark every stitch. Once done, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. That is, at the first marker position. The stitch marker for the beginning chain can be removed. This completes the first round. Move on to crochet round 2. Work one chain as beginning chain. Make a single crochet increase in the first stitch of the previous round. That is, at the first marker position. Crochet 2 single crochets here. Mark before crocheting. Place the starting tail above the hook as you crochet. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch. Two stitches. Make sure it's completed. The first marker of round 1 can be removed now. This completes the first single crochet increase. Continue making single crochet increases on the left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the ends. And don't forget to mark. The second single crochet increase is done. You need to make 6 single crochet increases in this round. For the remaining 4, work 2 single crochets into each stitch as instructed. Once completed, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Tuck the yarn tail into the fabric. Round 2 is done. Now let's work on round 3. Make 1 beginning chain. The first stitch is a single crochet decrease. Mark first. Insert the hook into the first marked stitch below and pull the yarn through. Then insert into the second marked stitch and pull the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes 1 single crochet decrease. The first stitch is also marked. I'll demonstrate another single crochet decrease. Mark first. Insert into the 2 marked stitch positions on the left side, and pull the yarn through. Then yarn over and pull through. This completes the single crochet decrease. 4 stitches remain. Continue crocheting using the method shown earlier. Keep crocheting. As you work, flip out the side facing you while crocheting. Once completed, join with a slip stitch. This completes the last round. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Remove the stitch markers. Thread the reserved yarn tail through a yarn needle. Sew onto the main part. Sew according to the position shown in the finished product image. There are no specific requirements for the sewing method, just make sure it doesn't fall off. Slightly flatten the pom-pom while sewing. Tie off and weave in the ends after sewing. Use a yarn needle to fluff up the pom-pom's surface fibers. If you have a pet brush at home, you can brush it with the brush. This completes the pom-pom for the hat. Continue crocheting the circular fabric piece. Take the yarn. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Once completed, working 2 chains as beginning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch, then work the corresponding number of double crochets into the magic ring loop. Once completed, pull the ring tight. Do not join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Directly leave a long tail for finishing and sewing. Thread the reserved yarn through the yarn needle. Pick up the first double crochet stitch from front to back. Then pass back through the back loop of the last stitch. Gently tighten. Adjust the finishing position. Make it look neat and beautiful. Finally, follow the snowflake sewing method. Sew onto the main fabric piece according to the finished product image. Sew all the circular pieces together. That concludes the crocheting method for the circular pieces. Now let's talk about the crocheting method for double chain braids. There are 3 of them. They are crocheted using the yarn over chain stitch technique. Once completed, sew them onto the main fabric piece. Below is a crocheting method provided. You can watch the demonstration first, then proceed with crocheting. Now demonstrating the yarn over chain stitch method. Leave a yarn tail about 3 times the length of the required cord at the front. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Keep the yarn tail underneath. First make a slip knot. Then move the yarn tail from front to back over the crochet hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop and the yarn tail. The first stitch is done. Move the yarn tail from front to back over the crochet hook again. Continue crocheting. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Repeat the yarn over and crocheting. Once you reach the desired length, leave a tail, cut the yarn. If you need to sew, leave a longer yarn tail. When finished, thread the reserved yarn through the needle. Follow the position in the finished product diagram. First, secure the double chain braid. Then begin sewing. There are no specific requirements for the sewing method, just make sure it's securely sewn. Weave in the ends after completion. Finally, hide any excess yarn tails. This concludes the crocheting method for the double chain braid. Follow this method for the remaining double chain braids. Make the rest of the double chain braids using this technique. Continue learning the crocheting method for the bow. Divide into fabric piece 1 and ties. After completion, assemble them together. Sew on to the main part. First, learn the crocheting method for fabric piece 1. Please watch the demonstration. Take the yarn. First, refer to the chart to start the corresponding number of chains. After completion, crochet row 1. Make 1 beginning chain. Then work 1/2 double crochet into the back loop of the second chain from the hook. First, let's identify the back loop. The front side of the chain stitch shows a V-shaped texture. There's a strand at the back called the back loop. Row 1 is crocheted by picking up this single strand. After the first half double crochet is complete, continue working the corresponding number of half double crochets into the back loops moving left. After completion, work the corresponding number of slip stitches. Do not tighten the slip stitches here. Slip stitches marked with oval symbols should not be tightened. This will not be repeated later. After completion, continue working into the back loops for the corresponding stitch patterns. Follow the chart to complete this row. Row 1 is completed. The starting point forms a braid-like texture. Now crochet row 2. Make 2 beginning chains. Does not count as one stitch. Turn the work. Pick up the last stitch from the previous row. The strand away from you. Work 1/2 double crochet. When crocheting this row, always work into the strand away from you. Half double crochets correspond to half double crochets. Slip stitch positions correspond to slip stitches. Complete this row according to the chart. Leave the beginning chain on the left side unworked. This completes row 2. The next 2 rows follow the same demonstration as row 2, just complete them. After turning, always work into the strand away from you. After completing the last stitch, leave the beginning chain on the left side unworked. Complete these 2 rows according to the chart. After completing the last stitch, leave a long yarn tail. This completes piece 1. The method for crocheting the ties is similar to piece 1. Start with a chain stitch. Work half double crochets into the front loops of the starting chain. Follow the chart for crocheting. I've already completed mine in advance. Take out piece 1. Locate the 3 slip stitch positions. Overlap them like this. Once completed, pull out both ends slightly. Hold the slip stitch position in the center. Take the ties. Wrap it around the center. Sew together the beginning and ending positions. After sewing, pull down both ends of piece 1 a bit more. Form the shape of a bow. Then take the main part. Attach it to the fabric. No specific method required for securing, as long as it's secured firmly, won't fall off. Besides the center position, you can also secure a bit on both sides, to make it stable, won't wobble too much. After securing, fasten and weave in ends. Everyone should hide the remaining yarn tails properly, this way the bow is fixed well. Next, let's learn how to make the pouch. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Once completed, crochet a double chain braid as the strap. Finally, sew buttons onto the pouch. Attach it to the main fabric piece. Please watch the demonstration. Take the yarn. First, cast on an adjustable magic ring. Once completed, make 2 chains as beginning chain. This does not count as a stitch. Crochet the corresponding number of double crochets in the magic ring loop. Once completed, pull the ring tight. Join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet. This completes the first round. Move on to round 2. Make 2 chains as beginning chain. This does not count as one stitch. Work a double crochet increase in the insertion point of the previous round slip stitch. A double crochet increase means working 2 double crochets in the same position. 1, 2. This completes the double crochet increase. Then work a double crochet increase in each stitch. Work the entire round. Once completed, join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet. Note: do not hook into the beginning chain. The second round is complete. Now work the third round. Chain 2 as beginning chain. This does not count as one stitch. Work a double crochet in the first stitch below. Work a double crochet increase in the left stitch. This completes one sequence. Continue to the second sequence. Work a double crochet in the left stitch. A double crochet increase. This completes the second sequence. Following the demonstration of the second sequence, work the entire round. Finish with a slip stitch join. The third round is complete. The following rounds will have even increases. After reaching a certain number of rounds, start working even without increases. Each round begins with a chain stitch, which does not count as one stitch. End with a slip stitch join. After completing the final round, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Then follow the double chain stitch crocheting method from earlier. Crochet a strap. Once completed, insert both ends into the gaps between the double crochets of the fourth to last round. Spaced 6 stitches apart. Next, insert and exit both ends spaced 6 stitches apart. Stop inserting when the two ends are close together. Pull both ends tight. Tie a bow. This cinches the bag opening. Then take 3 buttons. Sew the first button on the 6th to last round. Place the other 2 buttons in a triangle formation with the first one about 5-6 rounds away from the first button. These 2 buttons at the bottom edge are spaced about 18 stitches apart. Now demonstrate the button sewing method using a small sample. First, cut a long yarn tail. Take out the button. Secure the yarn tail on the wrong side of the piece. Bring it to the right side. And insert it through the buttonhole. Note that the side with the dashed line should face up. This completes one sewing pass. Everyone sew once more. Then hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. That concludes the button sewing method. After the buttons are sewn on, position the button roughly on the main part according to the finished product image. That concludes the wrapping method. If there are any remaining yarn tails, you can stuff a bit of yarn tail inside the wrapping to make it firmly stuffed. Next, let's talk about finished product decoration. First, take out the eyes. Apply glue on the wrong side. I'm using a glue stick here. If you have a hot glue gun at home, you can insert the glue stick into the hot glue gun and preheat it before use. If you don't have a hot glue gun, you can use the inner flame of a lighter to melt and attach it. Note, don't burn it for too long. Also, be mindful not to burn directly below the glue stick. Maintain a slightly angled distance. Now the eyes are securely attached. Then take out the pom-pom. Attach it with the glue stick. Next, sew on the snowflake. Take out the finished snowflake and pearls. First, cut a long yarn tail. Pull out one strand. Insert the thin needle. The thin needle should be able to pass through the pearl. Then secure the yarn tail on the fabric piece surface. Take one snowflake piece. Come out from the edge position. Then take one pearl and insert it. Insert again from the other side edge of the snowflake. Secure it on the main part. You can sew it once more. Once done, tie a knot to secure. This way one snowflake is sewn. Everyone repeat this process. Sew the remaining snowflakes as well. After all decorations are completed, take two bells. Sew them underneath the bow. First, cut a long yarn tail. Secure the yarn tail on the bow. Then insert into the chain space above the bell. You can sew it once more. Once done, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. This completes the decorations on the main part. Next, learn the decorations on the triangle piece. Divide it into snowman, snowflake, star, string lights, and finished product decorations. Make them in order. First, let's talk about the snowman, divided into head, body, hands, hat, scarf, nose, eyes and buttons. Crocheting method for head and body. Just refer to the crocheting method of wrapping the previous few rounds. Follow the pattern chart for head and body. I've already crocheted them in advance. Set them aside for now. Now demonstrate the crocheting method for hands. Get the yarn. First, make the corresponding number of chain stitches according to the chart. After completing, make one beginning chain. From the second stitch from your hook, pick up the front loops and work 6 single crochets evenly. After completing, continue with 5 chains. From the second stitch from your hook, pick up the front loops and work 4 single crochets evenly. After completing, pick up the front loops on the left chain and work even single crochets. Leave a long yarn tail for sewing. Note that you need to make 2 pieces, set aside for later use. Now let's demonstrate the crocheting method for the hat. Divide it into main part and brim. Take yarn to crochet the main part. First, make foundation chain. After completing the foundation chain, then work row 1, make 3 beginning chains as starting chain, counts as 1 double crochet, starting from the 4th stitch from the end. Pick up the back loop and work double crochets. After completion, row 1 is done. Continue to crochet row 2. Make 2 beginning chains as starting chain. Doesn't count as 1 stitch. Turn the work. Because you turned the work, stitches correspond to the upper left corner position. Skip 1 stitch. Start working double crochets from the left stitch. Continue until 2 stitches remain. Now you've reached this position. The next stitch is a double crochet decrease. First, make an incomplete double crochet on the left stitch. Then make an incomplete double crochet on the left beginning chain. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops at once. That completes the double crochet decrease. This completes row 2. Continue to crochet row 3. Work 2 chains as beginning chain. Does not count as a stitch. Turn the work, skip 1 stitch. Work double crochets from left side. Continue until 2 stitches remain on the left side. When completed, work a double crochet decrease on the left side. Leave the beginning chain unworked. This completes row 3. Row 4 uses a similar crocheting method as row 3, only the number of double crochets differs. Follow the pattern chart for crocheting. This completes row 4. Leave a long yarn tail at the end. Set aside for now. Next, let's talk about the brim. The brim starts with a foundation chain. Then pick up the inner bumps to work single crochets. Complete the work according to the pattern chart first. Set aside for now. Now let's continue with the scarf and nose. The stitch techniques used for these 2 pieces have been demonstrated before. The scarf starts with a foundation chain. Then pick up the inner bumps to work treble crochets in sequence. For the nose, just follow the stitch pattern in the chart. Once all are completed, next we'll proceed with the assembly. The sewing methods have been demonstrated before. Here I'll explain the sewing order. First, place all fabric pieces on the triangle piece to check positions. Pay attention that the snowman direction isn't reversed. Arrange according to the finished product photo. Once positions fit properly, take the nose. Sew it onto the center position of the head. Tip pointing left. Starting point facing upward. Starting tail of the yarn inserts through the center to the wrong side. Tie a knot to hide the tail on the wrong side. After sewing done, set it aside. Take buttons and sew them onto the centered position of the body. Round 2. Buttons separated by 1 round. Pay attention, it's this 4-hole button. Sew in crossing shape. When completed, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Pay attention, the buttons are sewn on a straight line. After buttons are sewn, first sew the body onto the triangle piece. Then sew the head. The head should slightly overlap the body part. After completed, sew the main part of the hat, slightly overlap the head position. You can also take pre-made eyes. Place them on the head, measure the position of the hat main part. Then sew the brim onto the edge of the hat main part. After everything is sewn, take the hands, sew them on the third last round of the body, and slightly overlap some triangle pieces. After sewing, take the scarf and twist it. Sew it on the neck area and body, forming a 7 shape. The sewing method has been demonstrated before. When sewing, try not to let the visible stitches show on the wrong side of the triangle pieces. Sew them by yourself. For the snowman's eyes, just stick on the pre-made half beads. That's all for the snowman. Note that snowmen need to be attached on both solid color pieces. Don't forget this. The snowflake chart is identical to the one on the main part piece. Follow the previous snowflake demonstration. Finish crocheting and sew in position according to the finished product image. Now let's demonstrate the star crocheting method. Take the yarn. Start with an adjustable magic ring. After casting on, work 2 chains as beginning chain. Doesn't count as 1 stitch? Work the corresponding number of double crochets into the magic ring loop. After that, close the magic ring. Join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. The first round is complete. Move on to round 2. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Work a single crochet into the slip stitch position of the previous round. Work a double crochet into the left stitch. Work a treble crochet into the same stitch. The next stitch is a Ch3 picket. Work 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the treble crochet and make a slip stitch with the left yarn. Gently tighten slightly, or do not tighten. Continue at the insertion point of the treble crochet, work a treble crochet and a double crochet. Consider the stitch pattern from the first single crochet to now as a sequence. I'll demonstrate another sequence. Work a single crochet into the left stitch. Work a double crochet into the next stitch. A treble crochet. A Ch3 picket. Work 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the treble crochet and slip stitch into the left strand. Continue at the insertion point of the treble crochet, work a treble crochet and a double crochet. This completes the second sequence. Then repeat this sequence for the rest. Complete this round. Join with a slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail for sewing. Tidy up the fabric slightly. Gently pull it. Once the fabric is tidy, hide the starting yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Then take another strand of yarn. Stitch 5 line segments at the center. After securing the segments, thread the reserved yarn of the star into the needle. Sew the star onto the top of the Christmas tree according to the finished product image. Pay attention that one corner should point toward the tip of the triangle fabric piece. This method was demonstrated before, Sew it up by yourself. This completes the star. Now let's talk about the light strings. The lines are crocheted chain stitches. Once completed, sew them onto the Christmas tree according to the finished product image. Then crochet small circular fabric pieces. The crocheting method is similar to the nose. Finish off using the circular fabric piece finishing method. Follow the pattern chart for crocheting. Once completed, sew them onto the chain stitch lines according to the finished product image. Then take the small pom-poms. Attach them next to the chain stitches. This completes the light strings. Then take the pre-made snowflakes and pearls. Sew them onto the triangular fabric pieces according to the finished product image. The method is the same as the sewing technique for snowflakes on the main part. This completes the decorations on the triangular fabric pieces. Finally, sew the buttons onto the overall edging. The button sewing positions are marked on the chart. Once completed, turn it to the wrong side, with the corner having one button facing you. Take the pillow and place it in the middle. Mine is too big, so I won't put it in. Take the corner with one button in your right hand. Then take the left side corner and fasten it. Follow the order to take the top corner and fasten it. Finally, take the right side corner and fasten it. Once completed, tidy up the fabric piece flat. Then fasten all 4 edges. Up to this point, the whole product has been fully explained. If you still have unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.